You open your email and see a message from your manager. It isn't addressed to you, it's forwarded. Underneath is your email from yesterday, the one you sent to a coworker about a normal task. You read it again. Greeting looks fine. Instructions are clear, nothing rude, nothing strange. Above it, your coworker wrote one thing. That's it. No explanation, no complaint, just a question mark, sent to your manager.
You stare at your own words, trying to see what they saw. You reread the sentence 5 times. You check the attachment. You even wonder if thanks sounded sarcastic with a period. You consider replying. You start typing. Then you stop because you don't know what you're defending yourself against.
Later that day, your manager asks for a quick call. The conversation is calm, almost casual. They say you might want to be more mindful of how your emails come across to people.
You ask which part. They pause. They don't have an example beyond the email you already checked 10 times. The call ends politely. Nothing traumatic happened, but something changed. The next morning, you send another email, and before you hit send, you sit there for 30 seconds longer than you used to, rereading, adjusting words that were never a problem before, because now you have a new awareness.
Someone is watching how you communicate, and you don't know why. 3 weeks later, you're in a performance review. Your manager brings up communication issues. They reference that email. You still don't know what was wrong with it, but it's in your file now.
Last week, you missed a deadline because you were waiting for someone else's input. Your manager noted it in the tracker. Missed deadline. 2 days later, your coworker missed a deadline for the same reason. In the team meeting, your manager called it a dependency issue, talked about improving the handoff process. Same situation, different words. Your coworker started CCing your manager on emails to you. Normal emails, project questions, status updates, things that used to be just between you and them. But now there's a witness. There was a meeting 2 weeks ago. The team was discussing why the project was behind. People were frustrated, complaining about the timeline, the requirements, the vendor. Then someone mentioned a small mistake you made 3 weeks prior, something minor that had already been fixed. The room went quiet for a second. Then your manager nodded slowly. Yeah, that definitely didn't help. People started nodding too. A few people pulled out their laptops. The meeting ended 5 minutes later. After that meeting, something shifted. Eye contact got shorter. People stopped pulling you into hallway conversations. Nothing obvious, just a subtle distance. Conversations end when you approach. Now, not dramatically, just a natural wrapping up that happens to occur when you arrive. There was a team huddle while you were in another meeting. No one caught you up afterward. You found out about the decision when you contradicted it 2 days later. We talked about this in the huddle. What huddle? Tuesday, the quick sync. I wasn't in that. A pause. A look between two coworkers. Oh, we thought you were last month. You got feedback. Be more proactive, speak up more in meetings, take more initiative. So you did. You started offering ideas, volunteering for tasks. 3 weeks later, different feedback. Let other people contribute. Don't dominate conversations. Give others space. You asked what specifically you should do differently. Just read the room better. Find the right balance. 6 months ago, your performance review said you were exceeding expectations. You remember your manager saying they were impressed, that you were a strong addition to the team. Now there are concerns. Now you need coaching. Now there's a performance improvement plan. What changed? You're doing the same work, maybe better because you're trying so hard now, but how people see you changed. And once that changed, everything else changed with it. When you speak up in a meeting, you're being pushy. When you stay quiet, you're disengaged. When you miss a deadline, it's your fault. When someone else misses one, it's circumstances. When you make a mistake, it's a pattern. When someone else does, it's a one-time thing. There's no version of you that works anymore. Your manager started documenting everything. Written feedback for things other people get mentioned about verbally. Scheduled check-ins about vague problems, communication issues, team alignment, meeting expectations. You explain context, that you weren't frustrated, you were focused, that you didn't see the slack because you were in back-to-back meetings. Your manager nods, writes it down.
I understand, but we need to be mindful of how things are perceived.
People aren't looking at your work anymore. They're looking at who they've decided you are. Your manager sent you a warm email last month, praised your work on a presentation, said you handled a difficult client well, told you to keep it up.
The next day in the team meeting, they criticized that same presentation, said it missed the mark, that the client had concerns. After the meeting, you pulled up that email again, read it twice, then closed it. Someone used your exact wording in a meeting last week, phrasing from an email you'd sent, but they said it with a different tone. Well, as Donald put it, we need to reconsider the approach. Air quotes, a slight headshake.
3 people nodded. One teammate is genuinely nice to you. They don't participate when others talk about you. They still invite you to things sometimes. But last week, when your manager criticized your work in a meeting, they looked down at their laptop. They didn't say anything.
The email with the question mark. The meeting where your old mistake became the explanation. The praise that vanished in public. The coworker who looked away. You're the scapegoat. That email you sent 3 weeks ago wasn't wrong. That question mark wasn't about what you wrote. It wasn't feedback.